you guys doing? Last day of Rhode Island Comic-Con. Hope you guys are doing well. Now, if you guys are here, I'm assuming you guys are fans of Police Academy, as am I. But I have a couple of minutes before we hop into our panel that I'm gonna need your help with. So, first and foremost, I wanna make sure, and I don't know if the announcement had been made regarding like videos, make sure that no taping is being done. We're already doing so. We just ask that you don't. I want to be able to have you guys ask as many questions as possible. I'm only going to ask a couple myself, but I want to give you guys all an opportunity to do that. But I want you guys to be respectful of your other fellow audience members, so that way we can get as many questions as possible. So can you guys help me with that? Yes? All right. Awesome. So without further ado, let's see if our panelists are ready. So first and foremost, can I get Tim Kazurinsky on stage, please? Can I get Julie Brown? Can I get Michael Winslow? And last but not least, can I get Steve Guttenberg? All right.
Go get your microphone.
Oh, you got your microphone? All right. You're super excited to get on stage, so the guy has microphone. It's all set. It's all good. We're set now. That's great. We're off to a great start. So guys, welcome to Rhode Island Comic-Con.
Thank you.
Awesome having y'all here. I'll start first, just to talk about, congratulations guys, just with the franchise of all the anniversaries. I'm sure it's not lost on you. 40 years of the first Police Academy, but even some additional anniversary, 35 years of the 6th installment, and even 30 years of our very last of the 7th installment. It's pretty incredible.
Wow.
So, in talking about the legacy, it's always fun to talk about the journey as well, right? So, when I had a chance recently to go back in, because it's been, a while since I've seen a lot of the installments, but freshly I went back and saw all of them, and it's crazy to think that a lot of those things still make me laugh, and I'm just trying to figure out what it was, and I feel what it is the physical comedy, which is lost when I feel a lot of comedies these days. So, in thinking of that, can you guys, would any one of you reflect on, with that physical comedy, perhaps an injury that you guys sustained in one of those instances with that physical, comedy that transpired?
I got injured kissing Steve. No, I did not. Very injured.
His overbite.
I think it is what's so funny about it. It's physical comedy. It's the Three Stooges, and a lot of comedies don't have that now. What's happening over here?
I was getting on the way for y'all.
Having a situation, but yes, go ahead.
Like, especially modern comedies. They're not that physical, right? So that's why I think it holds up. Physical comedy lasts forever, kind of. You know what I mean? Because the intellectual joke, the written joke, can be funny, then later not that funny. But I think the Police Academy is just like, old-fashioned, fall-down funny.
Absolutely. Tim, I know you had a situation, right, that transpired regarding a locker room. So a mishap happened with your nose, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I did. I actually did all my own stunts, except where my little moped hits the car and I tumble over the car. That was Wink, and who also did Bobcat's tumble the same day. So,
really?
Oh yeah.
You did your own stunts?
Huh?
Wow!
But the other one I didn't do was going over the island being dragged by the jet ski. Again, Wink, he made a fortune on that movie. So probably made more than Bob and I did. But there was a locker room one where the lockers all tumbled together, and I misjudged where the last locker would hit, and it's point. Idiot! You should have known that coming. But no, it's so much fun to do. Actually, there was a film crew that found a tribe in the Amazon, the Yanomoa, and they had never seen any other kind of mankind before, and did this anthropological trip, and they said that they played a film of Charlie Chaplin, and this tribe went berserk. That they'd never seen people, and they were throwing dirt in the air, and they went crazy for Charlie Chaplin, having never seen any of mankind before, and that's what physical comedy is. It's a universal language, and it's why these films played all over the planet. Just millions and millions of people were brought laughter by these. I just told Paul Maslansky that, who was not feeling well, the producer. And I said, you made the entire planet laugh, Paul.
He did, and I had no idea. What a great introduction to someone who had never seen anything before. Charlie Chaplin. Well, that reflects Police Academy, because a lot of the physical comedy is Ben Turpin, it's Buster Keaton, it's Charlie Chaplin, it's Lucille Ball, because Lucy did physical comedy.
Oh yeah, she was brilliant.
The factory thing with the chocolates. Yeah, it is universal, and it does hold up very well, don't you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. Wouldn't be otherwise, right?
You know what? The greatest structures, the greatest projects are built on, to me, built on principles. That's why the Parthenon, parts of it, is still standing, because they're built on principles. And people talk about old school. Well, old school is good. You know, that's why some music lasts, and some projects last, and some don't, because they're built on principles. So Police Academy, as broad as it is built on comedic principles that last and work, and will always work. And that's why you can put on Police Academy today and still laugh. And because not only is it physical humor, but there's timing involved, and there are clever, pithy answers to funny questions, and there's great beats, and the timing is terrific. And that's why this Amazon tribe sees Charlie Chaplin and laughs. It's a 100-year-old piece of film, but it still works because it's built on comedic principles. And that's why all the movies that you see here at the Comic-Con and all the people who come on stage, you're enjoying, because it's all built on stuff that's going to last forever, as opposed to stuff that you'll never see again. And I've done plenty of that. But
We all have.
That movie wasn't released, it escaped.
Well, I also think one of the things is that these are a bunch of lovable screw-ups. And so, basically, you know, we're the underdog, and we screw things up. But ultimately, we've not managed to find a way to triumph and overcome our shortcomings. And I think a lot of people identify with that. Like, I could be a loser like that guy.
And police officers as human beings, that's the other part.
Absolutely, and I feel like that's a great segue, Tim. And the other question I had is, considering the family that you have with this ragtag, group of characters, and how flawed they are, and how they still utilize that to somehow overcome whatever the issue or adversity is.
You mean family?
There you go. There you go. Yes, family. I thought it would be fun to talk about, for those those of you that were new, coming on new to the franchise, if you could reflect on a moment across, the installments of a character, or say an ensemble member who took you under their wing as the seasoned ensemble member, or vice versa, if you were the seasoned ensemble member, if you came on and brought someone under your wing. Because the only reason why I bring that up is, Steve, I understand it was a situation like that with Spade, from what I understand, with David Spade.
yeah, David was, I think, in number 4, and he played a skateboarder, and he was pretty new to show business and new to movies. And I've always felt, no matter if somebody's a newcomer or they've been around and they're entering and they're sort of a guest on your set, try to make them really feel comfortable so they can do their best, so that they know that there's no pressure on them to prove themselves to anybody who's been here for a while. I think that there's just that sort of universal manners. You know, have someone into your house and make them feel really comfortable. And David did a great job. And I don't know what happened to him, but...
Well, I came in on number 2, and everybody else could not have been more welcoming or helpful, and so that, you know, then I got to do 3 and 4, and when I got the news that we're going to do another one, I was like, whoa, another great vacation with a bunch of friends, and I got paid for it too. It was always a thrill to go back.
Well, I came in on number 2, and I was terrified because the number 1 was such a huge hit. So I'm like, okay, here I am, what am I gonna do? And I was supposed to be Steve's love interest, and I don't know, I mean, when I first came in, I was hired by Jim Signorelli, right? Yeah. And the director hired me because I auditioned for all of them. And then he comes in and goes, well, I've been fired. And I was terrified. And I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen to me? And then Jerry Paris came in and said, don't worry, you're gonna stay. So it was, I mean, to me, that was a very stressful way to come into the movie because you don't know what's gonna happen. So, but then once we started shooting, he was really funny. Jerry Paris was really funny. He was great, and he made me feel really comfortable. But I came in just going, oh my God, I could get fired any minute. Because it seemed like the whole production was shaky, right, then? I mean, when you lose a director, it's a big deal. So.
But they recovered quickly.
Really quickly,
and
yeah.
for those of you who don't know who Jerry Paris is, he directed a bunch of Happy Days episodes.
Well, he was also, there's some age-appropriate people here. In the Dick Van Dyke Show, he was the neighbor, Jerry and Millie, that used to come over.
Jerry the dentist.
Yeah. Hilarious. Really a funny man, funny
Really
director.
funny.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, he had improv skills because Harvey Lembeck trained a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to
Harvey Lembeck too.
So did I.
Oh my God.
But I didn't do Robin's class because he just destroyed the place. I'm not going there.
I went into Robin Williams took with Harvey Lembeck. Do you guys know who Harvey Lembeck is? Yeah. He was in like the beach party movies.
Eric Von Zipper.
Eric Von Zipper, which was crazy because he was like a 45-year-old character playing a teen punk.
Yeah, exactly. Beach blanket bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric Von Zipper, that was his name.
But he was a brilliant comedian, especially teacher. And when I got in there, Robin was in the upper echelon classes.
I wouldn't take his class. I said, give me something.
I think I got to sit in on one of them or be part of it. But Robin was so intimidating, wasn't he? It's very scary to improvise with Robin Williams.
He would argue with the improv teacher in 4 languages.
Yeah, it was really overwhelming, but wonderful.
But really, absolutely brilliant guy. Yeah. I worked at Second City, a theater in Chicago.
Second City.
And he came in and anytime he was in town and played with us, and he was probably, other than Jonathan Winters, maybe the greatest improviser ever. Yeah.
And they affected us. Our contemporaries, our peers affected us because we wanted to do a good job.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah.
We did. I'm just lucky. I don't care. I got a job.
Awesome. So I'm gonna open it out to you guys. Only have one other question. So do we have mics that are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Bring him a microphone. Bring him a
So you guys
microphone.
can start one.
Bring him a microphone.
Awesome. So
Somebody.
if you guys like, you guys
Come on up, man.
start lining up, and I'm gonna ask my next question. So.
Run, you fools!
Good one! Hi, everybody. Hi, guys. My name is Jeremy, and I got a question for Mr. Winslow and Mr. Guttenberg. What were your favorite parts in the very first Police Academy?
Well, I gotta tell you, the very first time I met Michael was the first scene where I think we were in the police station, and I'd seen Michael perform, and I knew that he had such a God-given talent. But when we got on the set, and he just blew everybody away. He was funny and smart and incredibly improvisational, and took the scene from a 5 to a 10 to a 12, and blew everybody away, and blew the director away, Hugh Wilson, and the producer, and it just raised the bar. That's what it did for me, and which is great. When you play with somebody who's so talented, you go, okay, man, now I'm gonna bring out my best stuff, and I'm gonna be great, and I'm gonna be able to be great, and this guy is gonna let me just ride on his tail, and no matter, all I have to do is be there around Michael, and it'll be great, and that's what I thought from that first time.
Thank you, man. When I watched you wreck that Trans Am, I said, I better be good. That was a beautiful car, it was. And what? You bent the frame, man.
Oh, and Julie and Tim, do you have any favorite parts?
I think that I'm not in the movie that much. So let me just say that. When we were on the Ferris wheel, we were shooting this scene in the Ferris wheel. That was fun and also scary because I'm scared of Ferris wheels, but he made me feel relaxed about it. He was joking around. But on a Ferris wheel.
Also, sitting with a beautiful girl doesn't hurt.
Thank you. So I would say that, probably the Ferris wheel.
Okie dokie. Believe me, I think a lot of people get scared of the Ferris wheel.
I know, they're pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised people don't fall off them more.
No Ferris wheel.
Created by a guy named Ferris.
Yeah.
Yes. And someone was talking about to me the other day where the first Ferris wheel was. And it was created by a guy named Ferris.
And he was in competition with Faraday, I believe.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow. How about you, Tim?
For me, well, I actually was pretty much just hired for a day and ended up being, because the director got fired, I ended up being there 6 weeks because the new director came in and said, keep the lamp store guy around. There's a scene where I go to an ATM to deposit money. I didn't even know what the hell an ATM was. So Bobcat, just who I didn't know from a bar, so comes up to me and says, I'm gonna spray mace in my mouth and then kiss you on the lips, and please don't tell the director.
Doesn't mace hurt?
Okay, because you know, in improv you yes and, so I thought, this is gonna be interesting, and I just said, it's not real mace, is it? He said, no. So, we did it, the director loved it, and it was like, bingo, I thought, this is gonna be a fun ride, and it lasted 3 years, it was great. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wouldn't it be great to have Bob here?
It would be so
That
great.
would be so amazing. And next time, somehow we gotta
I've been
get
trying to get that son of a bitch to come to one of these things
I mean,
for 5 years.
people would love him. He was such a
So
great
funny.
character.
We gotta work on him. He's a good director too, by the way.
Great. We were in Shakes the Clown together that he directed, and yeah, it's a really funny movie if you haven't seen. It's like,
Shakes the Clown. It's the Citizen Kane of alcoholic clown movies.
yeah.
He's not kidding.
Tim, how do we, Julie, how do we get Bob here? How do we get him?
I don't know how we get, maybe money?
Money would be good.
Money would do
What
it.
a great idea!
Tell him we're making a movie, let him direct it.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have to ask Sam, I hope you hear this. We should try to get Bob come. That would be great.
We have a new question.
We want to punch
Oh my God.
Oh, there.
Get back over there, yes.
Hi, Rhode. I just stand in front of this Murderers Row of comedic talent. I wore all of my VHS tapes growing up. I'm sure most of the guys here did too. But you guys all worked in like the golden age of like studio comedies, and now studios seem to not want to make them at all. Do you think we'll ever see the studios kind of swing back? And if so, is it just a modified version, or I guess what's the future of studio comedies in your perspective?
Good question, thank you.
I don't know if it's ever going to go back to the old studio system, you know, with Spencer Tracy and old styles. I don't know if it's going to go back to the old studio system or even the old new studio system that we were under. I have no idea what's going to happen because of the one thing called AI. We don't know. The future is not written yet.
And it was so expensive to make a movie, and they found new ways to not make it as expensive. So the idea that it would go back to that, I don't think it will, but I don't know what it's gonna be.
I think the studio system has changed, sort of like how black and white and silent went to talkies and then radio and television. And now, of course, you can watch something on your phone and stream it.
Right.
Those things change. And maybe there'll be a day when, well, right now, like Tim has a pair of glasses on. I think there's a Google glasses that will take photographs, and then there'll probably be a time when
It'll adjust.
and maybe you can even watch videos on your iPhone, or you can just watch them somewhere else. I think there'll always be a new electronic, digital, and a new word, a new concept, a new thinking of how to present entertainment. But I do think that the studio system, what we think was a place where the same people were employed that did different types of entertainment. So for a grotesque would be an army film, and then a romantic comedy, and then, oh gee, a foreign, something in Italy. But we use the same people. So I think that it's all up to talent. The talent, like if you'll notice Adam Sandler. So Adam almost has his own little studio. So he makes movies, he uses the same people all the time, and then once in a while he'll bring in somebody who he needs to fulfill a role. But that's and Adam Sandler's an SNL guy with Tim. So I do think that there'll perhaps always be a way for people to work with the same people, so you look forward to that. And I think that the conglomerates, the money, the finance will change.
That's one of the problems is that the lawyers, accountants, and the bean counters at the studios have gotten so much control. And the notion of this series is a gang comedy, and you know, gang comedies, there aren't any of them anymore, and I can't understand why. But it's the thing about those shows was to go and be in a theater with other people, all laughing wildly at the same time. It was a really unifying thing, and makes me want to go home now and write a gang comedy. So,
Yeah.
Pretty much we're going to have to, in terms of as performers, we're pretty much going to have to embrace the technology and make it work for us. It finally caught up to us. So now we're going to have to manipulate that. Because the people who can write their own products, people who can make their own things and direct themselves are the ones who will probably make it. The playing field is even, but it's chock full of craters and boulders.
But I do think that we are a business that will always survive. Because we always need entertainment. We always need books to read. We always need television to watch, films to watch, music to listen to, museums to go to. We as a society, we need entertainment. So somehow there'll always be entertainment, but we have to be clever about how to participate in it.
And remember, the copyright laws have not caught up to the AI stuff yet.
who's next?
Yes.
They don't make this for tall people here. So why is it that your style of slapstick comedy, or even parodies like Naked Gun, Airplane, or even like Tim's era of Saturday Night Live, why are they timeless, can be watched from generation to generation? Even today, a young kid could appreciate Police Academy, but they're not being made anymore.
Good writers.
Well, the artists, I think they redid Airplane or Naked, no, they just redid Naked Gun.
But it won't be the same. And it's not a new idea. Like, why aren't we coming up with new ideas? when obviously this is, you know, proven to stand the test of time?
I think it's because if they take something that's already been done and they redo it, it already has a name value to get the audience in there. Because everything's so expensive, they're like, oh, Naked Gun, people know what that is. You know, it's like that on Broadway too. It's like they keep redoing it and doing, you know, revivals. So new work is harder to get financed. So that's what it's about, is really too bad, you know? Because it used to be much easier, like when I'd sell a script, it was much easier to sell a script. And now you can do it if it has, people know it, if other people, all these people have to approve of it. It's really like money and getting people in because of the name.
Which is why you become an independent filmmaker, but it's still a hard slog.
Yeah.
Unless they made a slapstick comedy and put Marvel in front of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, actually, the first guy kind of got my question, but I was also wondering, like, yeah, were there like a lot of pranks or jokes behind the scenes, and how you guys all reacted to it?
Maybe there are a lot of what?
Pranks.
Pranks.
Oh, okay, I want to tell one.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
So Tim and Bob became really good friends,
Oh, yeah.
and really best friends. And I don't know, I can't remember. Maybe you remember and I don't even know if you know the story, but I think you might know. So Bob and I were always joking to each other and sort of pulling pranks on each other, but you know, innocent pranks, like you know, he'd say, hey, I'd say, I'm going up to the food, you want some food? And he'd say, sure. And he'd tell me what he wants, and I'd go up there, and I'd come back with an empty plate. And I'd go, oh, did you really want anything? You know, sort of innocuous, very mild pranks. So, one time, I was out of my trailer, and Bobcat says to me, hey man, can I use your trailer to just lie down? My trailer is being cleaned. Yeah, sure, no problem. So, I don't know if you remember, you were there.
I think I do.
So I go, sure, so I was out the whole day, came back into my trailer, and it reeked. There was just a foul smell. So I couldn't understand where there was a foul smell. Looked in the bathroom, looked there, there's nothing going on. And Bob had relieved himself in a little plastic bowl or something and put it like in the back of my trailer. And it was there all day. And it lasted for weeks. I mean, it was a good one. I mean, you know, I was happy for him because he took a good one. But it was there forever. And every morning I get in there and go, there's Bob. There's remnants of DNA all over. This is his fecal matter everywhere. Everywhere.
A little body humor.
He probably said,
No shit!
Yes.
Thanks, everyone. I'm David. What are your best memories, good or infamous, about the Blue Oyster Bar? And that's for anybody here.
just give that keeps right on giving.
Mine was that I had a broken arm on a stick, and I got jumped by some thugs in an alley, and I turned fast, punched one of them out, and I got chased down the alley and into the rear entrance of the Blue Oyster Bar, and some guy grabs me and dances away. Da 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 da. Some leather guy does it. But the funniest thing was that it was a real cast, and the next day I had to go get it taken off, and there were these two Persian doctors who used a Dremel drill to cut the cast off my arm, but they went about, maybe about 1/8 of an inch too deep. Is this supposed to hurt? And then they got the cast off. I literally had a slice down my arm. It was bleeding, and they just freaked out. We're like, oh, please,
As
no,
they
no,
should.
you must put them. We would pay you money. Don't tell them. I'm like, I'm not gonna rat you out. Just find me some AAA ointment, and this is all done. So it was just kind of a flesh wound, but I had a scab there for a couple of weeks.
Is that where you got that new Cadillac from?
That's showbiz.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I just think that what happened, just in general, I look forward to going to work every day because everybody was so funny, just in general. Everyone just told funny stories all the time, and everything was finding humor in it and finding something clever. And the thing about comedians is that they're really smart. And that's what I enjoy most. I used to hang out at the Comedy Store all the time, and that comedians, people who know comedy, know current events, they know history, they know, of course, timing, but they're really smart. And when I went to work every day, I knew I was going to be around smart people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely true.
We got to get him to try stand-up.
The other thing is, when I worked at Second City, the boss had scrawled something on the wall, which was, I thought, the most profound thing that was ever put, and there was a lot of stuff up on those walls. And it just said, if you're having fun, the audience is having fun. And that proves so true. Whenever I go into some scary event, I always remember that. Have a good time, the crowd will have a good time. And that's what, we showed up on set every day, and we were laughing our ass off before we, got away from the coffee cups. We were there to have a great time every day, and we had a blast every day. I so look forward to going and shooting those films. It was so much fun, and it came up on screen this month.
Yeah, there wasn't a turd in the crowd.
Maybe in the trailer, but no.
The trailer is a good one, a healthy one. But yeah, that's what's really great about work. And I'm sure when you go to work in your jobs, if you don't have a monkey in the building, it's great. When you know that you're going to have a good day because the people there are working really hard and you all have a purpose. That's a pretty great thing. So.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Hi. Since Mr. Bailey was unavailable for the convention, I feel more at liberty to ask this question. Mauser or Harris?
Oh, like Sinatra or Mathis? Mauser or Harris?
Art Metrano or G.W. Bailey. I think it's pretty much a dead heat.
It's sort of like the election.
Yeah.
That's not a real competition.
That's right.
Harris and Mauser.
You know what? I always think, you got to give it to the original. Because, because GW created that role. He created that, even though an art was brilliantly funny and always was funny his whole career. It just sort of, I think, the way that things work out, sort of like the first Darren on Bewitched.
Exactly.
You got to give it to that
Only
guy.
Darren.
Sergeant, Dick Sargent? No.
He was also Sergeant Rizzo in MASH.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
But I do, I really miss GW not being here. And GW, a brilliant guy.
Yeah.
Really smart, incredible actor, and a great acting teacher. And boy, it's such a shame that GW is not here. I hope that our next reunion, we get, Bobcat here, and GW.
You can always watch The Closer if you want to see GW. You can always watch The Closer with Gary Sedgwick and Major Crimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. GW. What a great guy. And Art, too. Art was so special. A really special guy.
That Broadway play was great.
Yeah, this play was great.
Well, guys, unfortunately, we are out of time, but can we give a round?
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
appreciate you. We love you and appreciate you. We know what it takes to come here, take time out of your day to sit here and listen to us and talk to us. Thank you so much for supporting us. We love you.
And make noises whenever you can.